Okay, so using the background information that we learned, we're going to start to do level 1, which is going to be broken up into 2 videos. The first video is all about the specific triangles. So acute, classifying by angles would be acute, obtuse, right, or equiangular, and classifying it by side lengths would be scalene, isosceles, or equilateral. And now I want you to give the most specific names. So for number 1, I see all 3 sides are equal, all 3 angles are equal. I want you to classify it by the angles and the sides. So classifying by the sides first, it would be equilateral. Classifying it by the angles would be equiangular. All right, number 2, my side lengths are all different. So classifying it by the side lengths would be a scalene triangle. And my angles are all less than 90 degrees, so it would be an acute triangle. Number 3, looking at the side lengths, I see 2 sides are the same. So this would be an isosceles triangle, classifying it by the side lengths. By the angle measure, since all angles are less than 90, then this is an acute triangle, classifying it by the angle measures. All right. Number 4, classifying it by the side lengths. I see 2 sides are equal, so this is an isosceles triangle. And classifying it by the angle measures, I do see an angle that's over 90 degrees, so this is an obtuse triangle. And then number 5, I see 2 side lengths that are equal, so this is isosceles, classifying it by the side lengths. By the angle measures, I see a right angle, so this is a right triangle, classifying it by the angle measures. Number 6, all 3 side lengths are different, so this is a scalene triangle. By the side lengths, by the angle measures, I see 190 degree angle, so this is a right triangle by the angle measures. All right, 7 through 9 says, answer the following with always, sometimes, or never. An isosceles triangle is blank an equilateral triangle. An isosceles triangle, the definition is it has at least 2 side lengths congruent. The equilateral triangle has all 3. So if you have a triangle with all 3, it technically is an isosceles triangle. So sometimes will an isosceles triangle also be equilateral? An obtuse triangle is blank an isosceles triangle. Well, we saw up here that this is isosceles and obtuse, but sometimes it's isosceles and acute, sometimes it's an isosceles and right triangle. So sometimes will an obtuse triangle be an isosceles triangle. An equilateral triangle is blank isosceles. If we have an equilateral triangle, that means that it has all 3 sides equal, which means that automatically it falls underneath the isosceles category as well. So it's always. All right, the next set of questions we're going to answer true or false. A triangle can have more than one obtuse angle. We talked about that in the background information video. That is false. Each angle in an equiangular triangle measures to be 60 degrees. We also talked about that in the background information video. That is true. And then a triangle can have more than one right angle. We talked about that as well in the background information video. That is false. All right, moving on. So we want to find the side lengths of this equilateral triangle. An equilateral triangle means that all 3 of these sides are congruent. So we can take any 2 of these sides and set them equal to each other to help us find y, and then we can plug y back into the side lengths to help us find each of the side lengths. I'm going to put the 3y minus 4 equal to the 2y plus 3. If you chose other 2 sides, then you still would get the same answer. So subtracting this 2y from both sides, I get a y minus a 4 is equal to a 3. And then adding 4 to both sides, I get y is 7. They want you to find all the side lengths. So if I put 7 in here, 3 times a 7 is a 21, minus a 4 gives me 17, which means that actually all of these sides are going to be 17 because it's an equilateral triangle. All right, next one says to find the side lengths of the triangle. Given that this is an isosceles triangle, so since it's isosceles, I'm going to set my two equal sides equal to one another. And I'm going to solve for x. So I'm first going to subtract the 2x over. So I have a 2x minus a 10.7 is equal to a 6.3. Then I'm going to add the 10.7 over. So I get a 2x is equal to a 17. And then lastly, I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides to get x is equal to an 8.5. They didn't ask us to find x, but we needed it to find the side lengths of the triangle. So if I put 8.5 back in for x here, 4 times an 8.5 is a 34 minus a 10.7. Is a 23.3, which means that the side that it's isosceles to or congruent to is also at 23.3. But I do need to find the base, so I'm going to put 8.5 in here. 5 times an 8.5 is a 42.5, plus a 2 gives us a 44.5. All right, that brings us to the end of level 1, lesson 1. You're now going to go on to lesson 2.